hello. It's your boy, it's Jake, and it's Karl, basement
Hi.
man and the pipes. This is the new theme tune. Do you like it?
I do. I was actually wanted to just say like big props to who made that intro. Was it you or was it Jay?
No, that was Jay. That's Jay.
That's a rather good intro. That's good.
I mean, we wrote the song. That's
Well,
our
yeah,
song.
I know. Yeah.
Just in case you didn't know, that's our song.
Yes, we wrote the song.
How you doing, guys? Thank you for tuning in.
Yes. How are you all? Let us know and get yourself a cup of tea or something.
Jay isn't going to be on this one because a major life event has happened. We're very happy for him.
Yes.
So he shan't be here, but he might not be in the next couple because life. But that's all fine. I'm sure we can manage somehow, right?
Yeah, man. You guys like me and Jake are great replacements, if not better replacements.
Replacements for what?
For Jay's shenanigans. He has shenanigans.
Indeed. He's wise and knowledgeable, but we are better musicians.
I bet he's watching.
Right. I hope so. I hope he heard that. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys. This one probably won't be as long. We do have a topic of conversation. We're not going to be doing the music guilty pleasure thing that we said we were going to do last week. Reason being, last stream actually got a copyright strike. It went down, so it was a bit of a nightmare. We need to look into it and work out a way of doing that isn't going to get the stream killed.
Yeah.
So we'll put a pin in that and we'll bring it up when we can, when it makes sense to.
Definitely.
But yes, I think we wanted to talk about our general topic of conversation today was going to be live shows.
But first, we're going to preface. Yes, we're going to preface it because we have some updates. So first off, I'll let Jake. He's been excited about this one all day. We got the proper confirmation. We have proper confirmation now. So Jake, take it away. What's
confirmation.
happening?
We are playing a show. What? An actual show has been booked and we're on it and it's happening and it's announced. We haven't put the poster up yet, but it will be going live probably later today, right? We'll be putting it up later today. We are playing a show at the Exchange in Bristol supporting Day Shifter,
Noir and Tyrants.
That's it. So they're playing the show as well. It's going to be really, really good. It's at the Exchange in the basement. I found out it's in the basement of the Exchange, which is a nice little small venue. So that will be really, really good. I just think it would be nice to actually get on stage and make this thing happen as a band, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to prove what we can do. You've heard it all recorded, but let's see whether we can actually all do it live, right?
It'll be interesting to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Cannot wait, because especially by then, like I think one of the great positions that we're in is that we know what 4 of the songs are going to be that we're playing live, but there is still what, like 5 months until then, so there's still another 5 songs, and who knows what could happen. We'll be releasing bangers, but what happens if one of them is like the standout banger for the year?
The one that comes with MASH, the banger that comes with MASH.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? We don't know.
We don't know. But yeah, so our first show, and we hope to see you all there. Like it's a sick lineup, sick venue, and just cannot wait to get out and do this. It's going to be great fun.
Yeah, I just think for us, like, we've been cooped up working on music for like over a year now, trying to get this thing going, and we've pushed it back because there's been no shows, and we just thought, right, 2021, we're going to launch, we're going to start fresh, release 12 songs, and hopefully at some point hit the road. So yeah, having a show in the banks, we're going to I think we are trying to get some more, obviously, but got to start somewhere, and there's much worse places to do it than the Exchange in Bristol. So yeah, it'd be good.
Definitely. Definitely. Like, oh man, we're gonna be talking more about that. Like, that would be the topic for this little episode, let's call it, of ENDSCAPE Live. We're gonna just chat about live shows in a bit, about our experiences with them, and and then we like post some questions to us. Maybe towards the end, we'll try and answer some of them. But a couple more things to do with the band. The drummer search is still happening.
Ongoing.
Yeah, we're talking to a couple of people, but it's still open. So if you know anybody who is a keen drummer who doesn't mind dealing with the likes of me and Jake and Jay,
who doesn't like dealing with us?
I don't know. I don't think Jay does sometimes. I think
in all fairness,
we are mean to him sometimes. But if you know anybody,
I think it's deserved.
I don't know whether he'd say that. if there's anybody who might be interested, is technically brilliant, and we want I want like grade 8 master, virtuoso. That's the word I'm looking for. We want virtuosos.
We want a prodigy. That's what we want. Drum definitely. Prodigy, best in the business, all the kit. Because we want somebody who will just slay. Like doesn't have to, like, we're not after a death metal drummer. We're not after like incredible jazz drummer. Just someone who's gonna slay. Like, you know the music, you know the stuff we make. It's
of course.
So, but if anybody knows anybody, send them our way, and we'll talk to them. But we are talking to a couple of people, and we are. I think either one of the people that we're talking to, we'd be happy with. So
both are promising. They're very promising.
Yeah,
very
good.
Very different as well, which is the best part about it. I think how different both of them are. Oh, it's going to be fun.
It'll be tough. It'll be really, really good getting in a room with them, and and just seeing how it all works together.
Which we haven't told them yet, by the way. So if they're watching, hi, spoiler alert.
I thought we had. I'm pretty sure we haven't. We telling them we're going to get into a room with them.
I have not told.
Told
my guy. So song update as well. It's in the works. Like, I think the release date would technically be in a couple of weeks, but technically in a couple of weeks. But it's coming along well. Me and Jake have a vocal session this Sunday, so looking forward to that. That's going to be quite interesting. It's a different kind of song. Wow, it's ENDSCAPE, but it's going to.
It definitely sounds like us. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a challenge, this one. I'm intrigued. But then I thought Rain was going to be a challenge, and that is now our most liked song, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it will be an issue. I think we'll get it right. But this is the interesting thing about what you guys are hearing from us, is you're hearing stuff that when we release it, at that point, that version of the song you're listening, it's probably only a week old.
Yeah.
Like a week or 2 weeks old. Like, we tweak it to the last minute.
It's fresh for us as well. It is,
It's exciting. It's actually a really, really refreshing way to work, because normally when a band releases music, they've been sat on it for months. Whereas we're in a position where we actually are still really, really excited about the songs, rather than a bit bored of them, because we've had enough time to sort of get used to the song. Whereas the songs are still like exciting and new to us. So it's it's a really interesting way to work. Cool.
Necessarily know whether there are any more updates. I can't think of anything.
I don't think there's anything major. No. Drummer. We've covered drummer. We've covered. What else have we covered?
Drummer, song, live show. And I guess that's kind of it for updates with the band. So onto our topic of the conversation. We we had a chat a bit earlier on, me and Jake, and we were discussing what we could talk about today. And with the announcement that we are actually playing a show together, we thought it might be a cool idea to just reminisce, talk. It's been a while since we've played shows. I'm guessing for you, Jake, I don't actually know how long it's been, to be fair.
It's been like years since I played a proper show. I mean, the last time I played a show live with a band was with a band called No Idols. And I was the sort of session bassist, if you like, for that band. And that was actually the reason why I wanted to be the bassist in this band rather than because I've previously fronted bands and I've done bits and pieces, but I was just like, you know what, I really enjoyed that experience of not fronting a band, and I really enjoyed harmonizing, because the singer of the band No Idols, it's not called No Idols anymore, he's doing like his own solo thing, and he writes amazing music, but that it was really fun for me to step back, play some like get sort of lost in an instrument, and then just help the front man sort of like harmonizing live. For me is actually almost more fun than being the main singer, because people go, oh, that was cool. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a moment where people go, oh, okay, more than one of them can sing. That's nice. And it sort of helps you stick, like as a band, stick out a little bit more from the crowd, because plenty of bands have really good backup singers and other members of the band that can sing, but it's when it happens and it's really good, it's quite a refreshing thing to see. So I think
shout out to God, who are they? Oh, I forgot. I had their name on the tip of my tongue. There's a band that do this. They have they're a three-piece, and all of them harmonize throughout most of their songs.
Not Biffy Clyro.
Not Biffy. They're I can't remember.
Oh, I know who you're on about. You're on about
Preston Echo. Yeah, those guys. God, they're good.
I remember in my old band, The Final Chapter, we played with Preston Echo years ago. It was in this tiny little room in somewhere in Birmingham. It was like this pub. It shouldn't have happened. Like, I'm pretty sure what happened was illegal. Like the size of this room and the number of people packed into it, I'm sure laws were broken. But that was really, really cool, because we all essentially played on the floor of this pub.
Yeah.
And they were amazing even back then. Like they've always been really, really good.
I can hold my hand up and say I've played show with them too. Back in one of my old bands. I don't know whether you can see it. It's behind the vocal shield, but in my band Five Tail Fox, we played a show with them down at before my friend Graham took over the Cobblestones in Bridgewater. He used to run shows all over Bridgewater, and this place was called Tiki Beach, and it had one of those floor it was so weird. The dance floor was the stage, and the rest of it. So you had this tiny space in front of you where you could literally fit a line of people, and then this massive space to the side where everybody would stand. And God, I just remember hearing them and thinking, Jesus, like how can they do this for a whole set? It's incredible,
and all of them are like pitch perfect as well. Like they're all incredible. It's like, who should front the band? All of us.
Yeah, yes, it's all to it.
All of us. Why not? They're amazing. I listened to their when it came out. I can't remember when it came out. Their newest album. I had it on repeat as like a mix reference, because it's produced by Machine, who did like Lamb of God, like all sorts of like crazy bands. It was produced by him, and he actually refers that album a lot, because he's really proud of it and he thinks it sounds amazing, which is really, really cool. But so that album just sounds amazing from every point of view. The music's great, the vocals are great, and the production's insane. So check out Preston Echo.
Because they toured with Shinedown. Like,
did they? That doesn't surprise me. They're really, really good.
I remember seeing it and just thinking, gee, I can't put like fair play to them. Get on a tour with Shinedown, like, man. They've worked there. They've worked really hard for that.
They've been around a long time and they've grafted, so it's really good to see a band that I played with years ago. I think they must have headlined the show. I can't remember, but
I think they headlined the show I played.
You know what? I don't think they did. I think they were main support at that show, which says a lot. Like you can go from supporting in a tiny little pub. You put enough time and graft into it, and eventually you're supporting Shinedown and being produced by Machine. So I think it's a testament to what hard work can do.
It reminds me of like the pictures, because there's the venue in Bristol, the Louisiana, which I've played a bunch of times. But I remember they put up posters of all the huge bands. I want to say that Coldplay have played.
Oh wow!
Coldplay have played the Louisiana, and a bunch of other major artists. It's been ages since I've been there, but a bunch of other major artists have all played the Louisiana, and it's just crazy because that venue is fucking brilliant too. A pain in the ass to load your gear into, because it's obviously it's upstairs. It's always upstairs in these.
There's
venues.
Bristol has a similar place. It's lost in here, but there's a similar nightmare venue in Bristol.
Oh, what I want Mother's Ruin.
Mother's Ruin, that's the one. Mother's Ruin, yeah.
I played their team. I know exactly what you're talking about. They got the round stairs. Amazing venue. Tiniest stage I've ever fucking
like tiny
seen.
Corner stage, and the PA's like pushed out really far forward.
Yeah,
it's cool, like a really cool place. Like,
but
yeah, nightmare for loading in.
Yeah. Five Tail played there, and like we had to. I think we stacked amps at the back. We stacked cabs at the back, and I want to say that our keyboardist probably put his piano on top of there too, just so we could all fit on this tiny stage.
It's amazing, isn't it?
But that part
sometimes though, those shows are the best, right? Like shows where the gear isn't there, or like the PA isn't the best, or there's barely any room for anybody to stand. Sometimes those are the most fun shows, because you look back and go, that was crazy, and often there's like this sort of camaraderie with the audience as well, where they're just like, this is all insane, I love it. Like you get this unique experience where the band are like dealing with problems, but the fans also like are enjoying this sort of exclusive, small, intimate experience. And I don't know, I think sometimes those are the best shows.
Yeah, sometimes they are, but I tell you, I've played some god awful. Right, what, Jake? Tell me what your worst gig is. The worst gig you've ever played.
Worst gig I've ever played. I've played a few. A few really bad ones. I think so. Years ago, my old band did a European tour, and so this is worst for a different reason than like the venue was bad, or there was nobody there. We did a short European leg in my old band, The Final Chapter, and we got into Germany, and I got really ill, to the point where like we didn't even tour in a van. We toured in a Vauxhall Astra.
What?
There was 4 of us in an Astra. With drum kit, with and like everything in it, and so we were all just like this in the car, like traveling, and I got really sick. It's not really a surprise, but I got really ill, and we got to the venue, and I was just like, let me in the venue, I really need to go to the toilet right now. So I was outside the venue waiting. There was nobody. There was like nothing for miles, like toilets or anything. Like you'd think a McDonald's was open nearby. There was nothing. So I turned up, and I just got so ill. And at the same time, I was having massive issues with my back. So I was like, it was just an all-round bad time for me, and like being like this in the Astra only made things worse. So I was taking like very strong painkillers at the time, and I was making awful things into the toilet, and I also had to front this band at this show. And what was amazing about the European shows though was they really look after you there. Like they have a sort of sense of like, thank you for playing our venue, thank you for playing my show, thank you for coming here. we want to treat you well because we know that this is a hard thing. Like traveling and touring, it's not easy. So thank you, we appreciate it, and they really look after you there. But that day in particular was really, really rough because I was essentially doped up on these painkillers, and I don't really have a memory of the show. I just remember how I felt.
Yeah.
So in terms of the worst shows, that's probably it. Purely from a health point of view, it was bad. In terms of like how the show went,
yeah.
I mean, it's got to be like any show that I played when I was starting out, right?
Yeah. Wow. It's any show. I think it can honestly just be any show because I mean I got examples I'll tell you, but yeah, if you've got like something different, yeah.
I mean,
like,
there's been times where I've got on stage and we've got to like a second verse of a song and my brain's just completely blanked. Like I know the song, but I get to a point in the set and I'm like, what's the lyric for this bit?
Oh mate.
And I like turn to look at the band members and they're like, I don't know.
When that's happened to me, which I'm not gonna lie to you, it probably will happen while we play shows. I make it up.
Make it up, yeah.
I make it up.
I was doing like aggressive scream vocals at the time, so I could just say random syllables like gibberish, and it didn't matter. You can't hide behind that as easy.
No, but it's especially when people know the songs as well. So I guess if you see me, if you come to a show and you see me put the mic out, I have probably forgotten the words.
If he turns to me and I take over the main vocals, it's because he's forgotten the lyrics.
Oh, so the worst show, like I've got a worst solo show I've ever played.
Okay.
And off the top of my head, one of the worst band shows I've ever played, and the worst solo show is at a local venue to where I live. I used to quite frequently run open mics around Taunton, which unfortunately would normally end up with me sitting in the corner of a room playing acoustic guitar and singing all these terrible cover songs for about 3 hours, and I got paid for it every time. But there are times when people come. Actually, to be fair, thanks to open mics, I've met loads of amazing local musicians.
Open mics are amazing, aren't they? Like they're a really unique opportunity to just meet people.
Bad and good, which is both equally entertaining. But this one in particular, there was one night I played this local venue, and they put me upstairs, and I was shoved into the corner of this place to do it. I ran this thing for 3 hours, and not a single person came in. And I promise you, nobody came to drink. Nobody came nobody came to like to watch. Nobody came to play. Nobody showed up. So it was just me and the bar staff. And the bar staff went outside and put on their own music while I was playing. And I could hear it. I'm there upstairs just playing. I was like, it's a practice session basically, so I'm just playing. And I just heard it. I heard this music coming out from downstairs. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're paying me to sit here and play, and they're listening to their own bloody music.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh man. So the thing is though, I should have just at that point just got up and left. But I sat there and I carried on. I played. I was like, fuck it, I'm playing. You
can almost treat those just as a rehearsal session though, like you're being paid to rehearse. Like we've definitely in old projects we've definitely done that where. Yeah. I mean, it happens to every band, right? Like you turn up to a venue and for one reason or another, there's nobody there. And so you and all the other bands playing, you just turn to each other and go, we'll perform for each other then. And it's just a rehearsal with a small audience. That's all it is. And again, those can also be really fun. Like if you've got the right attitude, some people can get quite bitter, but I think with the right attitude,
Oh yeah, with the right attitude. So this kind of feeds into my worst band story. I was the front man, kind of / still am the front man of a band called A Tale of Two Cities. We gigged for a year. We've been broken up now for about 6 years. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace for Tale 2 Cities. We played a show in Reading, and I think it was kind of one of those all-dayers, which I know you love. So it was, if I remember correctly, it was a good venue. I can't remember the goddamn name of this venue, but I see it every now and again pop up. And we played this venue, and I think we were sub-headlining, either that or we were headlining this thing. And nobody was there by the time we played. Like literally nobody was there apart from some other bands. And the worst part about this show is that the other band that I remember that played it were a jazz band. And not even close to the same genre as us. Not even bloody close. And I think they all left halfway through us playing as well. And it's just like, I bet if I spoke to Joe, he'd probably be able to remind me about it. Our guitarist, I still envision it because they had that, those wraparound seats with the table in the middle, I don't know what they're called, but they was just sat in there, and I just remember looking around the room and thinking, "Fuck me, there's nobody fucking here." I'm jumping around on stage to literally no one. I think I jumped off the stage and just ran around for a little bit as well. So what's the point, And
yeah, that's tough. I think when there's no like the bands like sound wise don't. There you go, a booth.
Yeah, thanks,
that's
man.
That really complicated word that you couldn't remember.
Yeah.
When there's just no like gelling of sounds, and the audience doesn't like, it's just a mixture of people, and then half the people are like, "What is this?" And then that can be tough. But again, in those moments, you got to take it in your stride and just like shrug it off. This is a rehearsal, like onwards and upwards.
Definitely.
So I think every musician's had that. I can't. I refuse to believe there's a musician out there that hasn't had that experience where they've just, for whatever reason or another, there's either nobody there or the audience is wrong, and you just gotta roll with it.
Oh, exactly. Okay, so with that in mind, then next question: what's the best show you remember playing?
So the first one that comes to mind when you say that, and I don't know why. Again, my old band, The Final Chapter, played a show in Plymouth. I think it was Plymouth. Can't recall what the name of the venue was, but it was tiny, like so small. And again, like I say, sometimes the small venues are the best. Yeah. This one, the PA was awesome in like this like ridiculously small room, and the stage was very, very small, and that was really, really fun because it was just like everybody was well up for it. I always find like the South Coast, the shows down there, like Southampton, Plymouth, wherever else is down there, those shows are really, really good. Everyone's just fully up for it. So that one comes to mind just because it was just so much fun. Like the vibe was great. We sold tons of merch, which always helps. And because of where it was as well. Like we were right by a beach. Like the beach was there, and then the main like street, sort of touristy street, was there. And so after the show, we just went to the beach. It was just really, really good. Like got some Chish and Phipps and off to the beach.
Like one that comes to mind for me was when Five Tail Fox played their final show. I will always shout out Cobbles because like that place is pretty much my kind of it was my second home, but for a while. But I always play that. Like, funny enough, I'm playing there next week. That's one of the first indoor shows back I'm playing. Is there, and Five Tail Fox played their final show there, and I didn't think anyone was going to show up. I didn't think anybody gave a shit. I was just like, we're just gonna show up. We're gonna do what we did, and then that'd be it. We would end it. But the turnout was so goddamn good for that show. They just made it, and the amount of people singing these songs that I thought nobody knew, was awesome. It kind of like solidified it. It's just ironic that it was our last show.
You know what? Actually, that reminds me of a show. This was great. So in Northampton, there is/was, unsure which word to use, a venue called the Race Course.
Yeah.
Race Course? I think it's the Race Course because there's another one. Anyway, you got the Roadmender, and then you got this smaller venue called I think it's called the Race Course. And it was for an EP release show that we put on. We were headlining. There was a band called States in Motion, I believe they were called. They were sub-headline, and then we had a band that we always played with back in the day called Ophian, who Josh is from. And so we snagged him, but we always used to play with those guys, and we organised this show, and the turnout was amazing. Like it was really, really rewarding because it was like, oh, okay, so we can do this. We can just do this ourselves if we need to. And we played a couple of new tracks, then the EP that we just released, and then just like some older ones as well. And so the EP from start to finish, which is I think the only time we've done that, or I've done that, is like play a record start to finish. It was 5 tracks, and we'd never done it before. It was the first time we'd like ever played these songs live. And again, like when we played some of the older stuff that people knew, the fans loved it. Like it was really, really nice because it was like everybody knew that this was like going to be the only time that this would happen because you know, stuff happens and bands don't last forever. But you know, unless you're ENDSCAPE. But it was like the only time that in that band there was this feeling of like everybody's here to celebrate this release and everybody's here to like to sort of live this music, I guess. Now that was really, really cool. That again rewarding because it was the first time that we'd ever done anything like that, and that venue is really, really good. Don't know which one to use. But yeah, go on. What about you?
Oh, more.
So have you got any more? Or
there's hopefully. Oh well, hopefully, but new method of introduction to fans with all these venues closed. It's like venues closing is actually a massive problem at the moment. I'll say a quick one. I've not like for someone who for the amount of bands I've been in, I've only ever toured like twice. You would have thought. I toured with the Tale 2 Cities. I've not had the luxury of playing Europe yet, which is something I'm really keen and really looking forward to doing at some point with ENDSCAPE. We toured and we went on tour with these 2 bands. One called The After Party, who I know aren't around anymore, which is a shame. They were a pop punk band. And another one called the Attention Thieves, who also aren't around anymore. They were amazing. We went on tour. We did these 9 dates. And there was one show we played in London where the sound guy was so goddamn good. He was so good, and I learned so much from him, like about mic positioning, you know, because I was one of those people that holds the mic at the end,
cup the
mic,
like
Limp Bizkit. I was channeling my idol Fred Durst, and and he was just he taught me about mic placement and stuff like that, and like how to hold the mic and stuff to get the best sound of things. And that like not many people showed up to that show, I'll be honest. But it was amazing just from how great the sound was and how much I learned from it. It's just funny that sometimes you get those shows where just it sounds amazing. Yet nobody's there to hear it. And you're just like, oh man, what are you doing? Why aren't you here? We're never going to sound as good as this. So,
like this is it. We've peaked. Sonically, we've peaked. The question that came to mind when you said that was, what is your favorite venue that isn't the Cobblestones?
That's a good question.
Because I've got one in mind that I really love.
Tell me yours.
I absolutely love the Crawford Arms in Milton Keynes. It's just such a perfectly sized venue. Like you can get bands of like so many different sizes in there, and because of the shape of the room, it works with like really small local shows. But then when you get like a Periphery or like a bigger band in there, it still works. Like you don't feel like there's nobody here, like when there is like maybe 10-15 people there, just because the room just doesn't seem to feel like that. And the sound guys that work there are top of the they're top of the range sound guys, top shelf, absolute like they're really, really professional dudes there. And I've just seen some amazing bands. I saw the Defiled there years ago. I'm positive I've seen Periphery there at some point. But there's some really, really big bands that played there. But then it's like they don't discriminate. If they want to put on local bands, they will. It's just an amazing, really inclusive venue, and I really, really love it. I think it's such a great place.
For me to answer that question, to be honest with you, I can't. It's not necessarily that the Cobblestones is even my favorite venue. It's a great venue. It's one of the best places I've ever played, and I have the fortune to play continually. It's been so long that I just can't. I can remember venues I've played that I've enjoyed, like Louisiana. The Fleece. The Fleece is a fun venue to play.
Where's that's in?
That's Bristol.
Bristol, yeah.
Fuel Club in Cardiff. That was.
Oh, Fuel's cool. Is that next door to the Moon?
Yeah, I think it's next.
Like the little small room.
Yeah, it's tiny, long old room in this place, and the staff were lovely. The lady that was I think it was the lady who let us in, and like she was amazing. They got a little the backstage area is right behind the stage, and you literally open the door and you're on stage. I just thought that was
that's the Moon, right?
No, that's Fuel.
Is that Fuel? Okay,
Fuel,
fair enough. I am thinking of the Moon, but maybe it's similar.
It's but then there are other places I played that I can't remember the bloody name of. Like there was a place, Nuneaton, but we did a Halloween show, and I met my favorite punter. It was a little pub. We did this Halloween show at Tale of Two Cities. I dressed up as Slender Man. That's how old we're talking. Like I think it's 2011. When that was relevant. Yeah, when Slender Man was a thing. And this guy, I remember sitting at our merch table, and a guy came up to me and went, "How much is one of your CDs?" I went, £3, and he goes, "That's the same price as a pint." And I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I've only got £3 left." And I went, "Well, mate, you could buy something that will last you forever, that you can continually listen to, you can get enjoyment out of for for the rest of your life, or you can have a pint that you'll finish in 2 minutes and it's done. You'll never experience that until you pay for another one. This is one payment. You get this for the rest of your life." And he went, "Yeah, I think I'll have a pint," and walked off. And I was like, "You."
When you're in that mode, though, when you're in pint mode, that's it.
But it's more just, I was like, "Why are you wasting my time?" I just gave a fantastic.
You've just made me feel bad. That's all you've done there. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So Rani says, it's the actual ambience and crowd buzz that adds to live bands. I think that's exactly it. Like, it's we don't bands for the most part don't play shows just for them, right? They play shows to include the audience and include like that sense of community a little bit more. Like you don't see fans through a screen. Like if we release songs and it's only ever heard online, there's no sense of community there. Like there's nothing better than like meeting fans in real life and chatting to them and taking pictures with them, and just getting to hang out with people. And when you get to a certain point, it stops becoming doable. And I actually think it's a bit of a shame. Like when you sort of hit that thing, it's like, okay, well, we have so many fans now, and we can't meet them all. What do you do? And a label would say, right, well, you charge for a meet and greet. And most 9 times out of 10, the bands don't want to do that because there's like this financial barrier then to do what they've always done. And that's a shame. But, you know, bands play shows because they enjoy that sort of interaction with an audience. And I think
it's the audience. Like I literally, I remember when I first became a musician, my goal was to make somebody cry with my songs. That was my goal.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to. Because it's what music had done to me. Like my favorite band at the time had made me, you know, emotional to the point that they made me feel something. And then you just don't, you know, to see that kind of an emotional response to something that you've written is incredible. And that's only doing music live can you get that, and you get that satisfaction. Jake, are you there? Is it me that's gone weird? Oh no, I've just been left. Okay. Yeah, so you know, it's going to be really good and interesting to see what our stage dynamic will be. So, you know, really excited. Jake is frozen. I mean, I've been left with the reins. What do we do? What do you want me? You stuck with us, Randy. Thank you very much. So I guess. I'll tell you one thing. Here's one of the funny. Hey, Jake's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I just completely died. I don't know what happened. Sorry.
I'll tell you a funny tidbit. So Hotel 260 played some festivals. We had a manager at a point called Marianne Harris, who is one of my favorite ladies in music ever. She is just like, oh man, she tells you how it is straight up, to the point where people don't like her for it, which I don't understand. But she, you know, but that also works in your favor, because if you're good, she will tell you you're good, and you know that she's telling the truth. She booked us, or she was involved in the running of a couple of festivals. So she helped out. She ran, I think there was one called Butterfest and one called Takedown.
Oh, was Marianne involved in Butterfest? I didn't know she was involved in that.
Oh man, she was massively involved in Butterfest. And thanks to her, Tale of Two Cities got onto both of these festivals one year. And they still rib me for this years on, but we played Takedown and I forgot the name of the festival that we were playing. So I stood on stage and I ran up to the front and I was like, "How the fuck are you doing, Butterfest?" And I was like, "Oh God." I didn't even know. I didn't know I goofed until after the set, when they were like, "Great set, guys, great set. Name of the festival's Takedown, though." I went, "Oh," I was like, "Oh shit, man." Yeah. Oh, that's my bad. Oh dear. And they've never let me live that down. They continually rib me for that. You've seen this comment, Ranny, shut down the Pornhub tabs, mate. Because you've frozen again, Jake. You've frozen again. Oh, but at least the picture's nice this time around. This little thing was bound to happen. We're 5 live streams in, and we're finally experiencing technical difficulties that have left me by myself to talk to you all. So yeah. Is there anything you guys want to ask at all? We got some time for some questions. I mean, no, I'm guessing not. That's fine. So, thank you very much, everyone, for being a part of this stream. We're obviously we'll be back. Hey.
I don't even know what's going on. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, I was just saying some thanks anyway. So thank you very much for tuning in. I know it's been a bit of a shorter one this time, but next week we are going to be discussing what our first shows are going to be for when everywhere is back open
when
again.
the venue's open, not as in ENDSCAPE, as in what the shows that we're going to. Like,
yes, shows, bands we're excited to see, festivals we're keen to go to, things like that. So if you have any questions for us about things like that, drop them down in the comments below, or just ping them over, and we'll make a little list, and we'll get to them at the end of the stream. But that's all from us. Thank you.
Nice one, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.